Hey there friends, welcome back to the channel. My name is Sohum and I'm on a mission to spread peace, love, and positivity through music. Today I'll be doing another double reaction to Deep Purple, and this time both songs we're going to be listening to are going to be off of the 1990 Slaves and Masters record. And I believe this is my first time ever hearing music off of this record, so it's going to be fun to hear a different shade of Purple today. We're going to be listening to the songs King of Dreams and Fire in the Basement. Before jumping into this, a massive thank you goes to Graham the Symphonic for making this donation request. Thank you so much, Graham. But now I'm excited to check this out, so let's jump in. We got some panting. I'm down for this beat. We have a really fat tone here in the bass.
It doesn't matter if I'm right or wrong. It really doesn't mean a thing. It doesn't matter if you like my song, as long as you can hear me sing. Goes on the phone and every little girl's rose.
It almost has like a sort of country vocal melody to this one, which is interesting, set against a hard rock backdrop.
Goes on the phone and every little girl's rose. You know
Almost.
I cut but never bleed. A shadow in the night, pure delight. I can satisfy your every need. Oh, a beautiful dancer, I'm a fantasy man. Master of illusion, magic touching my hands. All the stages are empty when I still stands. A battle of love, second-hand hero, king of dreams.
Wow. This is really awesome, actually.
Difference what you got. It doesn't matter what you lose.
The way I would sort of describe this so far is this feels like one of the most radio-friendly versions of Deep Purple I've heard. You have a really almost like classic rock, pop rock-esque chorus with simple to understand rhythm and a consistent bass line that keeps you in the groove. Not that this isn't unfriendly, but like, you know, I'm talking about like the average music listener who doesn't care to like understand complexity. This is, I would say, the most radio-friendly Deep Purple I've heard thus far.
It doesn't matter what you lose. Don't make a difference if you like it or not. Baby, I'm gonna change your attitude. 'Cause all around me there is mystery and wonder. Now can't you see it in my eyes? I'll crack the sky, make you feel the thunder. You'll never see through my disguise. I'm a beautiful dancer, I'm a fantasy man. Master of illusion when I sleight of hand. All the stages are empty when I steal the scenes. Beggar of love, second-hand hero, king of dreams.
I think the launch pad is being set right here for something. For organ? Oh. This like melodic sliding, the rattlesnake. It almost feels like the song is like it's breathing in, breathing out. There's moments where the whole song expands and then the whole song contracts, and it's in the margins. It's like maybe a 5 to 10% increase and decrease at any given moment, but it just feels like there is overall movement, as if like the amplitude is being compressed in one small moment and then slowly widened, and then we oscillate back and forth. Because this bass is in the middle and then everything around it is doing that kind of thing. Who's singing on this one? Roger Glover. Loving the vocals in this for sure. Joe Lynn Turner being the vocalist for this 1990s Slaves and Masters album. Absolutely in love with his vocals, actually. He's not doing too much. He's singing just where I want him to. Melodically, everything is super pleasant. He gives you just enough power so that, like, relative to the rest of the mix, his voice, it still stands out and kind of drives the track forward in its energy. But it's not so loud that it feels like overbearing. It's perfect balance. I like his voice a lot. Granted, I'm always biased towards Dio and even Ian Gillan. But this is good too. I'm a big fan. Again, very radio friendly in my estimation. And radio friendly would be like for the segment of the population that loves hard rock and classic rock. I still don't think this would be like radio friendly to the pop world, especially nowadays. Like, I feel like I talk to so many people just about music, and I hardly ever hear anybody mention anything even remotely close to the world of rock outside of like my own YouTube channel and community. Like, if I just meet the average person, if I surveyed 100 people on the street, it feels like maximum of 10 of them will like even know of a band like Deep Purple. I was one of those people, many moons ago, but I'm glad to be on this journey. Let's check out Fire in the Basement. When you start a song like this is for guitar lovers for sure. Wow. Very bluesy, bluegrass kind of feel here. With a walking bass. the song feels like it's got an engine attached to it somewhere. Maybe a steam engine. This is for guitar lovers, yep. Short but sweet. Oh, but now the guitar is above. Back to the initial riff. Organ solo.
Innocence is lost, satisfy my appetite. Ooh, baby, surrender to
the guitar licks here.
What's your name? Let's get down.
And you hear like this entire time there's been this like moving floor in that walking bass, and it's bringing us up and down, and then it sends us even higher and then back to bass line, and then we have like two measures of, let's say, walking bass simplicity, and then we get some expansive movement and then back to normal. And that expansive moment also dovetails very well with the guitar riff, right? Down, dun, 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 down, dun, 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 down, 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 da 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 da. That's the third iteration, and it pairs exactly with the more complex movement in the bass. So that entire section of that chorus is just infinitely catchy. Like, that is the kind of stuff that gets stuck in your brain for sure.
And up to the flame. What's your name? Let's get down to business. How can give this boy a helping hand? Come on, light my fuse. Fire in the basement. Let me out, scream and shout.
I think the pitches have changed here.
Hey, you got a match?
He said, anybody got a match? Dude, Mr. Turner can sure sing. I love when he gets really explosive like that in those moments. Again, great composition work, and it stands in such stark contrast to what we just heard with the first song. Let me get the name right, King of Dreams. Because in King of Dreams you have this rather simplistic bass line, simplistic drum beat, overall simplistic guitar riff, and it's all about the energy conveyed by the drums, the guitar riff, and the vocals. And in the Fire in the Basement, the pecking order, so to speak, shifts. You get this very dynamic bass line, though over time you can recognize that pattern. There is more movement there, and it again pairs very well with the heavy guitars directly in front of you, and then the vocals sit atop all of that and are even more explosive than before. So a song like Fire in the Basement, this feels like a song that's more in line with what hard rock lovers would seek out. The first song, I think, if you were to show your non-hard rock listening friend some Deep Purple, that would be where you would start to like get them sort of on your side, and then throw them further into the deep end with Fire in the Basement. And I've always kind of thought about this just like idea of knowing where somebody is in terms of their own musical mind map and trying my best to like bridge that with songs that I think they would like. And that's kind of what we're doing on this reaction channel. You guys are submitting songs that you think I will like, and you have a rough idea of where I stand musically and how I feel about things, and you throw me into those shallow ends, you throw me into those deep ends. And even just like thinking back to like prior friendships and relationships, like I always loved talking about music, because then I would get to identify like what really gets their heart going, what makes them tick, and see if it's similar to mine. Well, we already like get along well, in that regard at least. And if it's different, well, despite differences, we can find similarities, and there's probably songs that can blend genres between our two. So for example, if there is a pop listener and there is a metal listener, then like a band I may suggest in the modern era would be Sleep Token. There's a lot more caveats I would have to assign there, but finding these little incremental stepping stones to bridge my music to my friend's music, for example, that is a really cool process. There used to be a website called Boil the Frog, which did precisely that, although the use case was basically you would take two songs that are completely different from one another. So one could be Fire in the Basement by Deep Purple, another could be Poker Face by Lady Gaga. Those two songs compared directly to each other are completely different, worlds apart, but there are incremental steps in between that could bring you to some, something in the middle. And maybe one of those stepping stones could be King of Dreams. Another stepping stone could be, I don't know, like a Bruno Mars song, and you eventually find your way in the middle. Anyways, that's all I have for you today. These are two fun ones. If you enjoyed my reaction and you would like to request one yourself, you can do so by clicking the first link in the description box below. But as always, my friends, have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care and peace.